When you grow old and can no longer walk, you will realize 5 truths about your children. This journey is not just about growing old, but also about reflecting on the choices we made in parenting, how we fostered connections, and how these relationships evolve as we age. In this reflection, these 5 truths emerge as constants for many aging parents, particularly here in America. And as you read, you may find yourself thinking of your own children, wondering how these truths might play out in your life as well. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. The children who stay close may not be the most successful, but they are often the most reliable. As parents, we invest years of love, effort, and sacrifice into raising our children, hoping they will go on to achieve great things. We dream of their success, whether it's through prestigious careers, academic accomplishments, or financial independence. It's only natural to take pride in these achievements, believing that the children who excel will be the ones to care for us when we can no longer care for ourselves. However, as time passes and the realities of aging set in, many parents discover a surprising truth. The child who may not have reached the highest levels of societal success is often the one who stays close, offering the most consistent care and support. These are the children who might not have climbed the corporate ladder or traveled the world, but they remain nearby, physically and emotionally present when you need them most. In a society that values career accomplishments and financial wealth, this realization can be bittersweet. The children who have achieved great success often live far away, their lives consumed by work, family, and social obligations. They may have every intention of being there for you, but their demanding schedules and the geographic distance create barriers that are difficult to overcome. A phone call or a check in the mail, while appreciated, cannot replace the warmth of a nearby child who is ready to lend a helping hand. On the other hand, the child who may not have pursued the brightest opportunities or highest paying jobs often remains rooted close to home. They might have taken over the family business, or perhaps they chose a more modest career path. While society might overlook their achievements, these children provide something far more valuable: reliability. They are the ones who can drop by when you need company, help you with daily tasks, and ensure that you are not facing the struggles of aging alone. This truth speaks to the deeper value of presence. While career success and accolades may bring temporary pride, it is the steady, loyal presence of a child that becomes most important as you grow older. These children, even if they haven't amassed wealth or climbed to the top of their professions, are often the ones who make the small, daily sacrifices that allow you to maintain your dignity and well-being. When the time comes and you can no longer walk or manage on your own, the child who stayed close will be the one who steps up. Their success may not be measured by societal standards, but in your eyes and in your heart, they are the true heroes. They provide more than just physical care. They offer companionship, understanding, and a sense of security that no amount of financial success can replace. It is a humbling realization that many parents come to later in life. The child who didn't make headlines or earn a 6-figure salary might be the one who shows up when it matters most. And while you may have once dreamed of a different outcome, you'll find that this quiet, steady presence brings more comfort and peace than you ever could have imagined. In the end, it is not the accomplishments on paper that matter, but the love, loyalty, and care that your children offer when you are most vulnerable. The child who remains close may not have won the world's accolades, but in your final years, their presence will be the greatest success of all. 2. In-law relationships are more important than you might think. As we watch our children grow and eventually start families of their own, we often assume that the bond we've nurtured with them will remain strong and unshakable. However, one of the biggest surprises for many parents in their later years is the realization of just how significant their relationships with their children's spouses, whether sons in law or daughters in law, can be. Many parents underestimate the role that these in laws play in shaping family dynamics. After all, when your child, Monica Charles, marries, they are not just welcoming a new partner into their life, they're integrating that person into the family structure. As parents, it's easy to continue viewing our child as the primary connection while treating their spouse as an outsider, someone to be merely tolerated but not fully embraced. But as time goes on, the importance of cultivating a healthy relationship with your in laws becomes increasingly clear. A son in law or daughter in law who feels accepted and valued as part of the family is far more likely to support their spouse in caring for you as you age. In contrast, if they feel sidelined, criticized, or disrespected, it can lead to distance not only between you and the in law, but also between you and your child. This distance can become more pronounced over time, especially when you begin to rely more heavily on your children for care and support. This truth often catches parents off guard. You may have expected your child to prioritize you above all else, but the reality is that their spouse plays a key role in their decisions and actions. If your relationship with your in law is strained, your child may be influenced by this tension and find it harder to balance their commitments to both their spouse and you. Even subtle tensions, such as feeling that their spouse isn't respected or valued by you, can create a lasting impact on how much support your child is willing or able to provide as you grow older. On the other hand, when you build a positive, respectful relationship with your in laws, you foster a sense of unity and cooperation. Your child will not feel torn between their loyalty to you and their commitment to their spouse. Instead, they will feel supported in caring for you, knowing that both you and their partner are working together with shared respect and love. This cooperation becomes even more crucial in your later years when your child may be managing their own family, career, and responsibilities while also trying to care for you. It is essential to approach your child's spouse with the same openness and respect you've shown your child. Let go of any preconceived notions or judgments about who they are or how they fit into the family. Embrace them as individuals, recognizing that they have their strengths, challenges, and unique roles in your child's life. When you do this, you pave the way for a stronger, more supportive family dynamic, one that will benefit you as you grow older and come to depend on this extended network of care and support. Ultimately, the attitude of your sons in law and daughters in law will significantly influence the care and connection you receive from your children. By nurturing these relationships early on and treating in laws as valued members of the family, you create an environment where love and mutual respect can flourish. In doing so, you ensure that as you grow older, you won't be met with tension or distance, but rather with unity and cooperation that strengthens the entire family. 3. The seeds you planted throughout life will shape your relationships in old age. As you age, the relationships you have with your children become a reflection of the choices, behaviors, and values you instilled in them over the years. Much like a gardener tends to their crops, the seeds you've planted through your words, actions, and how you treated each child determine the nature of the harvest in your later years. These seeds can bloom into relationships filled with love, respect, and mutual care, or they can bear the fruit of resentment, distance, and unresolved pain. One of the most profound truths that aging parents often face is that the way they raise their children, particularly the presence of favoritism, neglect, or imbalances, can have long lasting effects on the family dynamic. Children are deeply influenced by how they were treated, whether consciously or unconsciously, and these early experiences often resurface in adulthood, especially when the roles reverse, and it's time for the children to care for the parents. In families where favoritism was present, where one child was consistently praised, supported, or given more attention than the others, those favored children might grow up with an inflated sense of entitlement or dependency. They may expect the world to revolve around them, just as it did when they were young, leaving them unprepared for the responsibilities and sacrifices required in caring for aging parents. Meanwhile, the children who were neglected or unfairly compared to their siblings may carry emotional wounds into adulthood, often manifesting as distance, resentment, or a reluctance to engage in caregiving duties later on. This can lead to painful realizations in old age. As a parent, you may find that the child who was once favored, the one who had everything handed to them, is ill equipped to provide the support you now need. They may lack the emotional maturity or sense of responsibility to step up in a time of crisis. On the other hand, the child who felt overlooked or treated unfairly may struggle with the lingering hurt, finding it difficult to provide the care that is now expected of them. In some cases, they may even withdraw completely, leaving you to face the consequences of a fractured relationship. This truth can be particularly hard to accept because it forces parents to confront the impact of their past actions. Many parents reflect on their earlier years with regret, wishing they had been more equitable in their treatment of their children or more present in their lives. Unfortunately, by the time these realizations come to light, the damage may already be done. Emotional wounds that were inflicted decades ago don't heal overnight, and some children may hold on to these feelings of hurt and injustice for years. However, it is never too late to begin healing. Recognizing the role you played in shaping your children's experiences is the first step toward reconciliation. By acknowledging past mistakes, whether it was favoring one child over another, failing to provide emotional support, or being distant when they needed you most, you open the door to honest communication and potential healing. Apologizing, showing vulnerability, and making an effort to repair strained relationships can go a long way in rebuilding trust and fostering a sense of unity in your family. It's also important to understand that each child processes their upbringing differently. While one child may have felt deeply hurt by a particular incident, another may have moved on without harboring resentment. Therefore, approaching each of your children with empathy, openness, and a willingness to listen can help bridge gaps that have formed over the years. The seeds you've planted, whether of love, fairness, or neglect, will shape the care you receive in your later years. If you sowed seeds of compassion, understanding, and consistent presence, your children are likely to respond in kind, offering support and care as you age. But if the seeds were sown with favoritism or neglect, the relationships may become strained, and the harvest will bring distance, resentment, or even indifference. Ultimately, the way your children treat you in old age reflects the long-term impact of your parenting. By acknowledging this truth now, even in your later years, you can take steps toward nurturing the relationships that need healing. It may not be easy, but showing that you are willing to reflect on your past and work toward reconciliation can create the opportunity for stronger, more supportive relationships with your children moving forward. 4. Emotional connection matters more than financial support. As we journey through life, it's common to focus on providing our children with material stability. We work hard to ensure they have a roof over their heads, a good education, and opportunities for success. In return, we may assume that when the time comes, our children will reciprocate by supporting us financially in our old age. Yet, one of the most profound truths you'll realize when you grow older and less independent is that what matters most is not the financial support your children provide, but the emotional connection they maintain with you. As you age, physical limitations may force you to rely on your children more than you ever imagined. In these moments, you'll find that no amount of money or material comfort can substitute for the feeling of being emotionally connected to the people you love. While financial assistance, such as paying for caregiving services or medical expenses, can certainly ease the burdens of aging, it's the love, attention, and time spent with your children that will bring you the most comfort and peace. Many elderly parents come to the heartbreaking realization that their children, who may be financially successful and able to provide financial support, are often too busy to offer the one thing that truly matters: their presence. A monthly check, while helpful, doesn't replace a visit, a conversation, or the warmth of a child sitting beside you, asking how you're doing, and genuinely listening to your thoughts, concerns, and memories. The absence of that emotional connection can leave you feeling isolated and lonely, even in the most comfortable of surroundings. This truth becomes particularly evident in moments of crisis, whether it's a sudden health issue, a fall, or the onset of cognitive decline. What you need in these vulnerable times isn't just financial resources. It's someone who knows you, loves you, and can offer reassurance and companionship. The emotional connection you've cultivated with your children over the years becomes the most valuable form of support, giving you a sense of security and belonging. Sadly, for many parents, the realization that emotional connection outweighs financial support comes when it's already too late. Children, now grown and successful in their careers, may feel they are fulfilling their duty by sending money or arranging for professional care, but they may not recognize the deep emotional void their physical absence creates. It's not that they don't love you. They may simply be caught up in the whirlwind of their own busy lives, believing that material support is enough. However, as parents, you will come to understand that the real wealth in old age lies in the relationships you've built and maintained. In the moments of stillness that old age brings, it's the emotional bonds that you will hold most dear. A child who calls regularly, who visits when they can, and who spends time with you, even if it's just for a cup of tea or a walk in the park, will bring far more joy and comfort than any financial gesture. Their presence will remind you that you are still loved, still valued, and still connected to the life around you. This truth also serves as a reminder for children. While financial support is certainly appreciated, it is your emotional connection that your aging parents will crave the most. The smallest acts of kindness, a phone call, a handwritten letter, or an afternoon visit, will mean more than you can ever imagine. These moments create memories and provide the reassurance that no matter how frail or dependent your parents may become, they are still an important part of your life. For parents, recognizing this truth can help you navigate the later years of life with a sense of purpose. Instead of focusing solely on material concerns, you can invest your energy in nurturing the emotional connections that will sustain you. Reach out to your children not with demands for financial assistance, but with open-hearted invitations for connection. Share your stories, your wisdom, and your love with them. And in return, you may find that their presence becomes more frequent and meaningful. In the end, aging is less about the financial security you've built and more about the emotional security you feel. The love and attention of your children, their willingness to stay connected and present in your life, will be the greatest source of peace and fulfillment as you navigate the challenges of old age. It's a simple yet profound truth. When you grow old, what you'll treasure most is not the money your children send, but the moments they share with you. 5. Letting go of pride and expectations brings peace in old age. As we grow older, many of us are faced with the inevitable challenges of declining health and mobility. The independence that once defined us begins to slip away, and with that loss can come a profound sense of frustration, helplessness, and even fear. One of the most difficult yet vital truths to embrace in old age is that finding peace often requires letting go of pride, unrealistic expectations, and the belief that things should be exactly as we envisioned them. For much of our lives, we are taught to be self sufficient, to stand strong in the face of adversity, and to maintain control over our circumstances. As parents, we've spent years guiding our children, setting expectations for their behavior, and perhaps even imagining how they would take care of us when the time came. But as you enter your later years, it becomes clear that holding on to rigid expectations about what your children should do for you, how they should behave, or how things should unfold can lead to disappointment and strained relationships. One of the greatest sources of tension between aging parents and their adult children comes from unmet expectations. You may have envisioned a life where your children visit you every day, take care of all your needs, and provide constant companionship as you age. You may have expected them to make you their top priority, just as you did for them when they were young. However, the reality is often different. Your children, now adults with their own families, careers, and obligations, may not always be able to meet these expectations in the way you had hoped. This is where the importance of letting go comes in. Releasing the need for everything to go according to plan allows you to find peace in the imperfect realities of life. Instead of focusing on what your children aren't doing, you can begin to appreciate what they are doing, no matter how small or infrequent it may seem. A visit once a week or even a thoughtful phone call can be just as meaningful as the constant presence you may have originally envisioned. Letting go of pride is equally essential in your later years. As you face the physical limitations that come with aging, it's natural to want to hold on to the independence that once defined you. However, refusing help out of pride can lead to unnecessary suffering and strain your relationships with your children. They may offer assistance out of love and concern, but if you consistently push them away or insist on doing everything yourself, you risk creating an emotional distance that may be difficult to repair. Accepting help with grace is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it's a sign of wisdom and humility. When you allow your children to assist you, whether it's with physical tasks, decision making, or emotional support, you're giving them an opportunity to show their love and care. This exchange strengthens the bond between you, making it easier for them to be present in your life without feeling like they are intruding on your independence or overstepping boundaries. In the same way, letting go of unrealistic expectations also fosters healthier relationships with your children. When you release the pressure on them to be perfect or to meet all of your needs exactly as you envisioned, you open up space for them to show up in ways that are meaningful and manageable for them. They may not always be able to do everything you want, but by adjusting your expectations, you'll find that what they do offer can still bring great comfort and joy. This doesn't mean that you should lower your standards or accept neglect. Instead, it means recognizing the limitations of your children's time and energy while finding gratitude in the efforts they make. When you approach your relationships with an open heart and an understanding of their own struggles, you create a more compassionate and loving environment, one that invites cooperation rather than tension. Letting go also applies to your own expectations of yourself. In old age, it's easy to feel like you should still be as capable and strong as you were in your younger years. But holding on to these ideals can cause unnecessary frustration and disappointment. Accepting that your body is changing, that your capabilities are shifting, and that it's okay to ask for help is a vital part of aging with grace. This acceptance can bring a profound sense of peace. When you release the need to control every aspect of your life and let go of the belief that everything should go according to plan, you open yourself up to a greater sense of freedom. You no longer feel the weight of unmet expectations dragging you down, and instead, you can focus on the beauty of the present moment, whether it's a quiet afternoon with a loved one, a simple conversation, or the peacefulness of a shared meal. As you let go of pride and adjust your expectations, you may also discover that your relationships with your children grow stronger. Without the pressure of perfection, they feel more comfortable reaching out, spending time with you, and helping where they can. And for you, the peace that comes from accepting help and adjusting to life's changes allows you to navigate your later years with a sense of calm and gratitude. Ultimately, this truth teaches us that aging is not just about physical changes. It's about emotional and mental shifts as well. It's about learning to release the things that no longer serve us and embracing the reality of our lives with grace and acceptance. By letting go of pride and unrealistic expectations, you invite more love, connection, and peace into your life. And in the end, that's what will carry you through the challenges of aging with a sense of fulfillment and contentment. In the later years of life, it's not perfection or control that brings happiness. It's the ability to let go, to appreciate what is, and to accept love and help in all the ways it is offered. By embracing this truth, you give yourself and your children the space to create a loving, supportive, and peaceful environment in which both you and they can thrive. Conclusion. In the final years of life, the truths we come to realize about our children are not always easy, but they are profoundly meaningful. As we grow older and our physical strength fades, it is not success, wealth, or perfect relationships that sustain us. It is love, presence, and understanding. The child who stays close, the relationships we nurture with in-laws, the emotional bonds we cultivate, and the humility to let go of pride all shape the care we receive. In the end, true peace and fulfillment come from embracing these truths, fostering connection, and cherishing the love that surrounds us, however imperfect it may be. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more valuable content on aging gracefully and living a fulfilling life together. We can celebrate the beauty of aging and inspire others to do the same.